On one hand lies Turkey's diplomatic and military determination to defeat terrorism along its borders.
Sıra Fırat'ın doğusundaki terör öbeklerini dağıtma kararımızı hayata geçirmeye geldi.
On the other hand is the United States' decision to withdraw American troops from Syria.
We've been fighting for a long time in Syria. I've been president for almost 2 years, and we've really stepped it up.
United States President Donald Trump's abrupt decision to pull out US troops out of Syria sent shockwaves throughout the world.
We have won against ISIS. We've beaten them, and we've beaten them badly. We've taken back the land, and now it's time for our troops to come back home.
In broader terms, there is no simple explanation for the timing and rationale of this decision. However, Turkey's commitment to launch a counter-terror operation into northeastern Syria changed the United States' calculus. Trump was clearly influenced by his phone conversation with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan.
Yüz yüze veya telefonla yaptığımız görüşmelerde kişisel olarak Sayın Trump ile Suriye meselesinde pek çok noktada aynı düşündüğümüzü, aynı kanaatleri paylaştığımızı son telefon görüşmemde de gördüm.
Trump said on his official Twitter account that, quote, "I just had a long and productive call with President Erdogan. We discussed Daesh, our mutual involvement in Syria, and the slow and highly coordinated pullout of US troops from the area."
And President Erdogan of Turkey has also agreed to take out any remnants of ISIS.
The US president took a big step towards reconciliating with Turkey by deciding to withdraw US troops from Syria after consulting with the Turkish leader. The United States' reliability as an ally would have been disrupted if the Trump administration let the US Central Command's short-sighted partnership with the PYD-YPG ruin its relationship with Turkey. Turkish high-level civil and military officials had already called on their American counterparts to cut ties with the internationally designed PKK terrorist organization's Syrian offshoot.
We actually asked our ally United States not to support or not to engage with another terrorist organization in our fight against Daesh.
Experts and academics have argued that leader-to-leader diplomacy could take Turkey-US relations to the next level. However, it will take some time to restore Ankara's trust in Washington. Meanwhile, some experts have argued that the Trump administration tried to block Russian and Iranian attempts to drive a wedge between the United States and its NATO ally by working with Turkey again. But it would be unrealistic to expect a quick and permanent shift in Turkey's foreign policy. Turkish foreign policy decision-makers believed that having a 360-degree foreign policy outlook is necessary for Turkey's national interests in a tumultuous world.
Bölgemizde yaşanan çatışmaların sona erdirilmesi, barış ortamının tesis edilmesi için Türkiye ve İran'ın birlikte atabileceği çok adımlar vardır.
Turkey has reiterated its objections to economic sanctions against Iran and its commitment to strong economic ties between the two neighboring countries.
Hiç kimsenin yaptırımlar nedeniyle İran'la ekonomik ve ticari ilişkilerimizi sonlandıracağımızı düşünmemesi gerektiğini bir kez daha tekrarlamak istiyorum.
Trump also came under fire in his country for his decision to pull out of Syria. Critics say the Trump administration made a misguided strategic decision that will create negative long-term consequences for American interests in the Middle East.
I can promise you that everything that happened in Iraq is going to happen in Syria unless we change course. I can promise the President if you will reevaluate this decision, you'll have a lot of support across both sides of the aisle.
However, some international relations specialists claim that Trump is pursuing the offshore balancing strategy in his foreign policy. Offshore balancing is a strategic concept used in realist analysis in international relations. It describes a strategy in which a great power uses favored regional powers to check the rise of potentially hostile powers.
We're not nation building. Rebuilding Syria will require a political solution. And it's a solution that should be paid for by its very rich neighboring countries, not the United States. Let them pay for it, and they will.
Offshore balancing calls for a great power to withdraw from onshore positions and focus its offshore capabilities on the three key geopolitical regions of the world: Europe, the Persian Gulf, and Northeast Asia. According to political scientist John Mearsheimer, offshore balancing permits a great power to maintain its power without the costs of large military deployments around the world.
America shouldn't be doing the fighting for every nation on earth, not being reimbursed in many cases at all. If they want us to do the fighting, they also have to pay a price. And sometimes that's also a monetary price. So we're not the suckers of the world.
President Trump is also reportedly pursuing a buck-passing strategy. Buck-passing is often used to refer to a strategy in power politics wherein a state tries to get another state to deter or possibly fight an aggressor state while it remains on the sidelines. Passing the buck in international relations theory involves the tendency of nation-states to refuse to confront a growing threat in the hopes that another state will. In line with the buck-passing strategy, Trump says that Saudi Arabia will spend money to help reconstruct Syria. The US president tweeted that, quote, Saudi Arabia has now agreed to spend the necessary money needed to help rebuild Syria instead of the United States.
In fact, Saudi Arabia yesterday, you probably read, stepped up to the plate and has already made a commitment of substantial funds for development.
It's true that Trump's decision represents a significant break with Washington's Middle East strategy. After all, the withdrawal from Syria is not just about the United States' global military presence or the situation in Syria. It clearly reflects a new regional approach that involves reshaping the US policy towards Turkey.